Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Running from the pain in my heart. Into the arms of another, and for a while she made me feel alright. But in a crazy blunder, your love took me back under. Now I'm tied to those shackles and chains. Said don't cry for me, stars. I love you and I want you, and you'll always draw me near. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. 10 years' time it took me to unwind, and now I'm right back from where it began. How old will I be when you finally set me free, and the sun shines on my heart again? Said don't cry for me, sweet Annalie. You know I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart.
Come on out, 1965, them boys were called upon. Some fist fighting cowboys in them jungles of Vietnam. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Yeah, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. 19 years old, doing the bidding for Uncle Sam. Desert boots strapped on my feet, machine gun in my head. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Y'all, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. Come on now. Strapped across my vest, 800 more, and I'm gonna pluck one in your chest. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Y'all, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. Oh, 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 oh. I'm a mean motherfucker. Don't you never. I'm a mean motherfucker. So don't you never double cross me.
Wear a condom. We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is
Hey, everybody, it's Radar. What's up? What's up? What's up? We are hanging out here. Well, I'm hanging out here in El Basementato. I think that's how you say that. Anyway, hey, welcome to the Smoke Pit. It's a little after 1800 Mountain Time, so it's 2000 Eastern, 1900 Central, and 1700 Pacific. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out. My lovely co-host is out for one more week. She was planning on being here, and then her daughter had a baby. So she's enjoying being a grandma for a minute, and she's going to go hang out with the new little Peanut, and we will see her next week. So, hey, everyone, thanks for being here. What's up? Bradley Johnson, what's up, man? Hey, thanks for being here. Who else we got in the chat so far? We got Mike. Oh, Dowd. Let's see, and then Mara Merlin. Thanks for being here. Thanks guys for showing up. I got more people rolling in. Just sign off in the chats when you're here hanging out. So, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about this week. I usually kind of fucking try to stay away from some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but there's one thing. There's one thing that I really, really want to talk about this week. And for those of you who don't know, Dakota Meyer, he is a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, Marine, has decided to re-enlist in the Marine Corps. I think he got out in like 2012. Dude's been out for a hot minute. I was like, nah, man, I'm re-upping. So, those of you who don't know, he's kind of a badass. Yeah. I'm gonna pull this back, okay, on me. And I retired about the same time he did. I don't think you could pay me enough. I'll be honest. I don't know that you could pay me enough right now to join the military again. I loved it. I loved my time in the service. I spent almost 6 years in the Marine Corps, and then I spent 8 years in the Army before I got medically retired. I loved my time in the military. Loved it. I'm done. I'm almost 45 years old. I've done my time. And yeah, dude, I'm not sure you could con me into doing it again. That'd be a tough one. And I know, okay, he went in the Marine Corps Reserves, so he didn't go back active duty, right? But you would think that he would be like a killer, absolute killer poster boy for the Marine Corps. Congressional Medal of Honor winner. Like, his story is just phenomenal. Like, okay, hold on. Not just his. I'm gonna back that truck up. Every Congressional Medal of Honor winner's story is pretty phenomenal. From the Second World War on. I know some of those guys like got him in like the French or like the Indian Wars and the plains and shit. We're not counting those. Okay. World War I and beyond and newer. Those Congressional Medal of Honors they're earned. Everyone knows. And this dude got it. And rightfully so. And so now he's... Man, he's still wearing sergeant stripes. E5 sergeant stripes. Man, I don't know. Who would just be like, man, fuck it. I'm going to go back in as a sergeant? No. Motherfucker, you better pay me, son. Nope. Put them on posters. Put them on a fucking be like the beginning of Captain America with them like running around dancing girls and shit. Like, that's what you need to do to me. Be like, hey Radar, here's your fucking Captain America suit and a bunch of dancing girls. You're gonna tour the country and you're gonna drum up support for the Marine Corps. I'm like, all right, then maybe. But to just go to fucking drill every weekend or once a month and go to your what's the reserves do for like in the summer? I know like the Guard does like 2 weeks or some shit, and the reserves does something similar to that. Like, nah, son, No, you couldn't. Nope. And when I was in the Marine Corps, I did my first stint was in the Marine Corps. I got sent to my second duty station was NAS Fort Worth, which is a Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base. I was active duty. I was active component for a Marine Corps Reserve unit. I'm telling you right now, was not the Marine Corps. He was not the Marine Corps. NAS Fort Worth is a great base. There's great people there. The squadrons there are fantastic. The command there was great, but it's not the Marine Corps. Dude, I went from the Fleet Marine Force where I didn't know most of my higher ups' first names. I was a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps at the time. I didn't know my gunner sergeant's first name. I didn't know it. And I walk in, I check into the duty and everything, go through S1 and everything at the MAG headquarters, and they send me over to my unit. Show up to my shop, and I'm like, hey, this is Lance Corporal Ford, reporting for duty, petty officer, because it was a combined shop with the Navy. And this first class petty officer sticks his little hand out. He's like, just call me Jeff. And that was just that blew my mind. The Marine Corps is really strict, or was anyway. Maybe it's changed in fucking over 25 years since I was in the Marine Corps, but yeah. So that, I don't know, man. Phil says he's going to be the poster boy. He has to be, dude. But what, is he just going to be a buck sergeant? Seriously? Like, come on, man. Promote the dude. You know what I mean? Fucking pay him. Pay him. I'm sure they worked out some kind of drug deal with him. I saw that Pete Hegseth was there at his swearing-in ceremony, and I think he might have been Sergeant Major Marine Corps. I didn't see who else was in the photo, but I'm sure he's going to be pretty well taken care of. I wonder how that works. I mean, he's pretty fucked up. I bet he got 100% P&T from the... How does that work for your VA disability, I wonder? I don't know. How does that work for a VA disability? Because if you go through all the process of getting 100% disabled, and then you're like, nah, fuck it, I can go back in. What happens? Especially with him being like infantry and shit. I'm sure he's not going to be infantry now, but I wonder. Huh. The Marines wouldn't even give him a commission. Fuck yeah, right? I mean, I don't know that I'd give him a commission, but I'd probably make him a gunnery sergeant at least. You know what I mean? Congressional honor winner. He's got it. I mean, that's got to be a fuck ton of promotion points, doesn't it? It's probably the same as like as a Navy comm or some shit. He still just gets like the 15 points, whatever. How could you? I mean, like, dude's pretty fucked up. Like, how's he run a PFT? I'm kind of curious what his PFT's time is, what his 3 mile is. I don't know. Whatever. Good for him though. Good for him. Like I said, you couldn't give me enough money to go back in any of the services. Any of them. I'm not sure there's a number you could give me that would convince me to go back in. So, as much pain as I'm in every day from the shit that I did, I couldn't imagine, dude. I couldn't imagine. Yeah. I think that is a Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps with him. U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Dakota Meyer, Medal of Honor recipient, returned to service in the afternoon of April 17th, 2025 in the Pentagon's Hall of Heroes. Talk about the Medal of Honor recipient. Yeah, Dakota Meyer. Meyer raised his right hand and swore the oath of enlistment, the same words he spoke in 2006 when he first joined the Corps. Meyer, a native of Columbia, Kentucky, served in the Marine Corps from 2006 to 2010 when he was honorably discharged with 2 deployments in the Middle East. On the morning of his re-enlistment ceremony, Meyer took part in a physical training event alongside Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, and Marine Corps Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps Carlos Ruiz, the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, and a group of Marines stationed at Joint Base Meyer Henderson Hall. Yeah, imagine how much the recruiter that got him back in is bragging about doing the seemingly impossible, right, Patrick? Yeah, dude. That dude has got. I mean, would it be hard or would it be easy? Warrant. He's specific in the job of stacking. Yeah, make him a warrant officer. That's right. Phil. Good idea. I see. When asked why he decided to reenlist, Meyer recalled a moment when he spoke at a non-commissioned officers course. While speaking to the Marines there, Meyer said a sergeant asked him if he should reenlist. Meyer responded, "Absolutely." Later, reflecting on his response to that young Marine, Meyer asked himself, "How could I ask them to continue to serve and sacrifice without doing it myself?" And the question ultimately led to his decision to reenlist. You've got to be, this is a quote from him, quote, "You've got to be who you say you are and live by the standards you expect everyone else to live by. I had to look in the mirror and lay out who I wanted to be, then turn around and assess my decisions and habits and decide if they were helping me get closer to who I needed to be." End quote. In the end, Meyer's decision to reenlist was driven by a deep sense of responsibility both to his fellow Marines and himself. He said, quote, "Still today at my age, joining the Marine Corps is the single greatest thing that I have ever done." End quote. You know, I can make that argument. One of the I've had some really great moms. I've got kids. I've been married. One of the coolest things that I ever did was join the Marine Corps. I really strongly believe that. I get what he's saying there, but I don't know that I would reenlist the Marine Corps. I didn't reenlist the first time. Can they call him a retread even though he has the Medal of Honor? I think so. I think he has to be. I don't know. I just look at like the shit that. First off, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with Marines nowadays. I know I couldn't. I'm fucking old. I've got kids who have already like got out of the military, right? They enlisted, did their 4 years, and got the fuck out. I couldn't, man. And that's and part of it is my injuries. Part of it's because I got fat. Part of it is I don't give a shit anymore about that. You know what I mean? I've moved on. And I wonder too, and I think sometimes Marines are sometimes I think Marines are a little bit hard. Is hardcore the word? I think sometimes Marines get really wrapped up and that's their identity. When somebody joins the Marine Corps, does their 3, 4, 5-year enlistment, 20-year enlistment to retirement, whatever, that becomes their whole being, right? And I didn't realize that when I first got it. I remember that, like, one of the first things I heard, he's not a former Marine. He's always a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And I never understood that concept until I got out of the Marine Corps, right? And dude, I still got the flag on the wall. Here, I still got a Marine Corps flag on my wall. I'm still proud to be a Marine, right? I'm still proud to be a Marine. I'm still proud of the things I accomplished in the Marine Corps, right? But I'm so much more than that. You know what I mean? And I'm not even saying him, right? I'm not saying any Marine in particular, but we all know Marines who did their 3 years as an infantryman, right? And have the hat and the shirts and the tattoos and the stickers on the truck and fucking everything, right? They're a Marine. And don't you call them anything else because they're fucking Marine. And that's fine. They earn that. They earn that right. They're just so moto about it. You kind of just like, oh, okay, tone down a little bit, dude. You know what I mean? So Phil said he's an EMT. He's still jacked. I bet, dude. And he's a cool dude. Like, I've met him. He's a cool dude. I'm not trying to like talk shit. I'm not trying to like despair what he did. I'm just saying, like, I don't know that I could follow that same path. What's up, Corey? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here. Jack Mandeville fucks with people hard with that. He always calls himself an ex-Marine because he knows how much it pisses people off. Right? I'm an ex-Marine. And to each their own. And this is something that I think we get into these debates or arguments or whatever about individual service. Right? Some people will tell you every fucking minute detail about every fucking MRE they ever ate, right? And then you got guys who stacked the shit out some bodies, who are just like, yeah, it's in the military. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. I had to go to the VA today, and there's a guy. He comes into my work a lot. He's kind of a gambler. and he's a little old Korean War veteran. Dude's like 100 years old. Cool as fuck. Dude's cool as shit. The only time I've ever seen him in like any veteran garb is today at the VA. He had his like Korea veteran hat on. Sup, Richard? How are you, dude? But yeah, so the dude had his little, and it had the little pins on it and stuff. And I've seen him at the VFW, right? And I've seen him at my work because he comes into my work quite a bit. Throw some money. He's a big Rockies fan. He's a big Colorado fan, so he throws money on the Rockies and the Avalanche and the Grizzlies, right? And he just little guy comes in, and the only time I've ever seen him wear like any kind of garb whatsoever is his little Korean veteran hat today. And him and I have talked about being veterans. We talked about being in. We talked about our service and the stuff that we did. Dude was a Marine in Korea and was like at the Chosin Reservoir kind of shit. He's missing a couple fingers. Didn't ask nothing about it, dude. I'd never ask him any fuck. There's a little bit of information he's passed on, but for the most part, you would never know that this guy was a fucking some sort of war hero kind of. You know what I mean? And then you got the dudes who did 3 years at fucking Pendleton that have all the garb and the fucking chains and shit, and their fucking pickups got like the stickers all over the back window. I saw a dude driving through Deadwood the other day, and his whole truck, I tried to get a picture of it, but I didn't have time. His whole truck was wrapped in like USMC veteran and like the flag going down the shit. And he had like the 3 flags on the back. He had an American flag, a Trump flag, and a Marine Corps flag all hanging off his trailer hitch as he was driving down the main street in fucking Deadwood. Dude was moto as fuck, right? Not me. I got my little like disabled veteran plates, shit like that, but I don't fuck go that hard, dude. I ain't trying to be that hard. I'm just trying to not park in the back of Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And that's only because I got a fake knee. That's it. So, hey, Sports Bar, what's up, buddy? The guys who have bodies are the quiet ones who don't break. You know what? Yeah, I think so. There's 2 types of guys who don't break. It's the ones who have the pile of bodies and the ones who are like, I still think they're like my father-in-law was in Vietnam, and then in that time, and you'd never know. You'd never know he's a veteran. He doesn't, like, I know, you know what I mean? But if you walk by him and start talking to him, he would never say words to you. Now, if you said that you were in, he would discuss it. But for the most part, doesn't say shit. Dude, he's cool. He's just super chill. Super chill. I know a lot of guys like that. You know? And I don't know, like, he didn't really do anything, like, that crazy, but he wasn't like the tunnel rat or a fucking Navy SEAL or some shit. You know, he's just a dude. Just a dude. And so, like, but I think in that generation too, it wasn't as advantageous in the 70s and 80s to brag about your service. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of frowned upon. I remember when I was a kid, and this would have been early 90s, and you know, having a gym teacher who was a former Marine, and dude was like fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he was like the fucking he was like the gym teacher off Beavis and Butthead. You know what I mean? Kick me in the Jimmy. That guy, you know what I mean? So, you know, I look at guys like Dakota Meyer, right? Who has nothing to prove to nobody. This is a Medal of Honor recipient. He has nothing to prove to anybody. And he said, you know, the best thing I ever did, how can I tell someone else to do it if I'm not willing to do it myself? I understand all those things, but like at some point, like, is that the best way to honor, how do I put this without sounding like a total douche? I believe that when people win, or people don't win, you don't win the Medal of Honor. When people are awarded the Medal of Honor, that it's not just for their service, it's for all of those they fought and served with that didn't make it back. Right? And you carry that kind of torch for the ones who can't say that. And that's why, you know, it's important for them, especially, you know, so few veterans getting the Medal of Honor awarded while they're still alive. It's kind of up to them to keep that story going. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just, is this the best way for him to keep that story going? It's the only question I'm posing. Destiny says, my father and other Vietnam vets spit on a couple. Absolutely. Absolutely they were. And even like into not just when they got home, but as they kept going, as they grew and raised kids. And, even now, I think some of them still have that stigma of that and don't want to fucking quote unquote out themselves. I mean, you think about it, like a lot of those guys, like the fucking Agent Orange shit, right? We've known for decades how that's fucking those guys up, right? And it wasn't until the PACT Act was signed that it really got they really got like connected for all these weird cancers and shit they're having because of that Agent Orange and other shit they were exposed to, right? Other people just for fucking 50 years were like, nah, you're good, buddy. Don't worry about it. And now they're like in their 60s and 70s and people are like, well, man, we should fucking take care of these dudes. Yeah, you fucking should. How many veterans died horrible deaths from Agent Orange that were never compensated in the least? How many veterans came back from Vietnam with horrible PTSD and scars, both physical and mental, that were never addressed and fixed? And they spent their entire lives angry and bitter at the government and other people and each other and the whole thing. Spanky says her dad didn't get disability until about a year before he died, and his cancer was finally covered by the PACT Act. Yeah. And how long was he sick? And I know guys, I know people in my family and group of like my dad's friends and stuff that have been sick since as long as I can remember. Since at least the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, about 5 years ago. So he was sick for 5 years and got a little bit of, because he passed away about a year ago, right? A little over. So he was sick for 2, 3, 4 years before he finally got. Yeah, that sucks, Spanky. I'm sorry to hear that. And that's an old. That's why when, and I don't know what the current political feeling is towards things like the PACT Act. I know that they're and it's so hard when you look at like when you get information from about the current state of politics in this country. It's so fucked, right? And you even just hear like we might have to cut back on we might have to revisit the PACT Act, or we got to cut staff from the VA. We have to do this. We have to do these. We have to do these things. And I'm not saying the VA is perfect. I'm not going to sit here on any sort of way and say the VA is perfect. Me personally have problems with the VA, and I know a ton of other people have problems with the VA as well. We're not saying the VA is perfect. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass that hard. But what I am going to say is it's getting better. And anytime something's getting better and then they threaten to cut jobs or they cut funding or cut anything after they finally start getting on the right track, it worries me. It worries me. We've all worked for the government. We've all seen how things can. There's waste. Perfect. They will change it to exclude any cancers that include a uterus. That would be DI. Fucking probably. Probably. And I think that's what's scaring me about everything so far, is it feels like there's no rhyme or reason for the decisions they're making other than hatred. Hatred and jealousy, and I don't understand that. That's not the grown-up way to do these things. And I think that's what my things like, I was trying to stay away from this, but there was another Signal chat leak. And first off, say everyone knows that Signal's been banned, right? Can't use that. But I just I put myself. I remember when I got hurt and I was working in the talk, and we had a SIPRNet computer and NIPRNet computer right next to each other, right? I had a clearance. I didn't fucking touch it. It fucked up. I couldn't imagine even having a clearance but not being authorized to use it. What would have happened to me if I'd have got on there and started fucking on Cybernet? Right? But could you imagine what would happen to some specialist if they got on fucking and started taking pictures in the fucking room? Charging their phone in the same fucking room. And let alone putting information that you got from the Cybernet onto a fucking non-secure device and sending it out to your fucking wife and family. And could you imagine what would happen to you? No, dude. Nah. No, be responsible. And I think that even if you fuck up and say, yeah, sorry, I fucked up. Yeah, even having your phone in the room. Could you imagine what would happen to you? No. And just to be like, hey, sorry, I fucked up. Just to hear that come out of anybody in that fucking building's mouth. Hey, sorry, I fucked up. It won't happen again. Fucking something other than, oh, well, it's the leakers. But the fucking leakers are right, dude. And then you're the leaker. You're the leaker in charge. You did the leaks. We found out about it. It's like if I was cheating on my wife and she came into the room and I got mad at her for catching me. That's the same mentality about this stuff. Yeah, the lower enlisted gets a harsher punishment. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what drives me fucking batty about this whole situation. And I'm picking on Pistol Pete right now. Okay? I'm picking on old Higseth. There's lots of fucking, and it's not just this administration. Right? The head leaker of the Thality. Yes. Yes. And meritocracy. But and I understand. I do. I get that. But what I don't understand, master leaker of excellence. And I understand, like, I don't. I was gonna try to pretend like I don't understand any of it. I don't understand how anybody can be like, well, you know, okay. I grew up in a very small town in Iowa. Okay, grew up in a very small, white bread, not very diverse town in Iowa. Okay, my first exposure to basically anybody other than white people was going to boot camp in San Diego, California, going to Marine Corps boot camp. Right. And you learn very quick that it doesn't fucking matter your background. It matters what you're able and willing to do. Right? Doesn't matter what's between your legs, who you worship, what color you are, who you sleep with, doesn't fucking matter. It matters your merit and what you can do to help your brothers and sisters. That's meritocracy. Not anything else, dude. I don't understand where all this shit is coming from. Like where the hatred for people is coming from. People who are doing good work. People are doing good work. People who are trying to fix shit. Why are we fucking with them, dude? Let them cook. You know what I mean? Let them fuck cook. Let people fucking, you know, if they want to fix the VA, let them fix the VA, dude. Why are we firing people from the VA? They're fixing it. Is it great? No. But it's better. And it's getting better. Can we, and I heard the VA secretary today, or yesterday, talking about wanting to add AI to the claims process. Yeah. If you have off the wall ideas to make the claims process go faster and smoother and more accurate, absolutely. I'm down. I'm not saying that there's not more to do. But you can't fire 60,000 people and be like, well, fixed, made it better. No, you didn't. Never in the history of fixing things has firing everybody made it better. Especially when you're like, I don't know. You're firing people because they're black, or firing people because they're women, or firing people for whatever. And you're replacing them with incompetent people because they look like you. Doesn't make it better to me. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Secretary of Defense is black or brown or purple Fucking whatever. I don't care. Are they qualified to do the job? That's all that matters to me. Be qualified. Don't do dumb shit. Like, I don't know. That's just what that's my opinion on all that stuff. I'm trying to stay away from that. I'm sorry to go on down a little rabbit hole of tangents on that, but I don't want to fucking, I don't know. I don't want to get a bunch of hate emails about being a libtard or some shit, because I ain't that either. I ain't trying to be that. I just think that there's more to judge people on than the color of their skin. I learned that a long time ago. I thought we had that shit sorted out in the 60s. The beatings will continue until morale improves, right? I just don't want to get sued by spouting some shit on the internet. Fucking Trump's gonna sue me or some shit. Try to deport me. I'll fucking be in El Salvador or some shit, sipping martinis with my fucking... I can't even say that, because fucking... This is the same state that voted Kristi Noem as a fucking governor. That bitch got her shit stolen. That shit's funny to me. I'm sorry. You're the person in charge of keeping Homeland Security and you can't even secure your goddamn purse? Come on, man. Come on, man. 3,000. Who the fuck has 3,000 in cash in their purse anyhow? Come on. Ain't you got a debit card, girl? Come on. That shit's straight. I know, in all fairness, if someone ripped my wallet off, I'd be like, yeah, man, there was like $5,000 on that bitch. I was going to Deadwood. I don't know what you're talking about. It was at least like $3,200. Oh, about $550. No. Yeah, I love money. And my American Express card. God, could you imagine, though? I remember when, like, after she left, and they were like, holy shit, she spent like fucking, hold on, let me pull it up. How many, hold on, let me look at this. Because Noam had a bunch of fucking credit card charges, too. Kristi Noem credit card. Boom. All right. This is from February 28th from KELOLAND News. South Dakota taxpayers pay the bill when the governor uses a state credit card, and with former Governor Kristi Noem, that included out-of-state travel and spending for a Midwestern governor with a national profile. Public records request KELOLAND News, and yield hundreds of pages of results. It's a bunch of other charges, but she was staying at this room that was like $600 a night. Documents also include an email from Noem's director of scheduling, who wrote that the JW Marriott and Ritz-Carlton, quote, are the top two choices that the governor normally stays at when traveling to D.C. Like, I've worked for the state and local government, the county and the state. Like, could you imagine? Yeah, make them use DTS. Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah. Make them use DTS. Stay in some fucking Super 8. Oh, the VA has a limited workforce. The one's employees I've met and decisions I've seen, for the greater part, do care, but some unfortunately work under control set by administrators who haven't walked the walk. Yeah, I get that. I get that, Quinn. 100%. I just saw my physical therapist today. And she's like, yeah, I gotta write down what the fuck I do so I can report it up to my chain of command. And I don't know what I thought that was done, but apparently it's not. I think me radar at my VA facility, okay? Everyone has a different experience at the VA. 100%. I will not sit here and say the VA is perfect. I'm not going to say that because they're far fucking from it. Every physician, nurse, counter person, pharmacist, physical therapist, MRI tech, you name it. All of the people that I've interacted with at my local VA have been phenomenal. They have been phenomenal. They've been knowledgeable. They've been helpful. They've been... Today, my physical therapist. Okay, my back is all fucked up. How many replaced? And I went there today in a way. And I flat told her when I first got there, I'm like, if this is not going to make me better, I'm not going to waste your time or mine. I'm fucking over it. And she sat down with me for an hour and explained all of the things that we're doing and all the benefits to it and all of the things that she can do to make my life better. She took my half-hour time added a half hour, and spent all that time explaining my care to me. And how it's important that I do it, and how it's important that I not give up, and it's important how I do these things. That's my experience with my VA, with my physical therapist, with my get my blood drawn. And the phlebotomist is super friendly and super understanding that I'm not the biggest fan of needles and does everything like, and I'm in there enough that she's like, oh, hey, Radar, hey, come sit down. Yeah. And it starts bullshitting me about my kids, and her kids play soccer with my kids, and da 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 da. It turns into a big thing. And next thing I know, my blood's gone and I'm fine. Right? That's my local VA. Okay. Now, not saying that I'm not pissed off at the 21 prescriptions that I have to take fucking every day, or pissed off at the fucking having, to get on my knees and beg for care in the community because a fucking MRI is 6 weeks out. But that's my facility, right? And like I said, there's things to fix on that. And I know that the more urban a facility is, the more, the larger the facility, the more they're having problems, especially with staffing. And I understand that. I do. The whole world is still short-staffed. And if they can make some of that stuff go smoother with the addition of AI or technology or hiring more people or taking some of those things and being like, hey, you know what? We don't have an MRI machine at this facility, so we're going to send you out in town. Streamlining that process or whatever it is. And that's understandable. I get that. But we need to make it better. We need to continue improving it. Slashing funding, slashing support. And this is what scares me. I'm going to go the other way. This is what scares me about having a universal healthcare system, something like a DHS, like what the Brits have, right? Because the VA has been mismanaged. The VA does have management issues. The VA does have problems. So do I want every hospital facility to have that? No, I don't want to have that. But do I think people should have to go into fucking debt to go to the dentist? No. There's a balance there. And I think what we've done is we've gone here and here. And that's the problem. Holly Leanne said Trump signed an executive order for AI in schools today. Titan is super excited. What AI? What are they going to do with that AI in schools, Holly? Is it for like instructing or research, or what are they going to do with that AI? James wants to know how it's going. Drop it in and say, hey, what's going on, James? Thanks for being here, buddy. It's going great. Going great. Talking about Dakota Meyer joining back in the military and how the VA's fucked. That's about it so far. Or not fucked. Whatever. I'm curious, Holly, about this AI in schools today. In fact, I'm going to Google it. I'm in a Googling mood. I'm in a research mode. Is it AI or A1? Okay, here it is. USA Today. President Trump signs executive order boosting AI in schools. Trump's order directs the federal department, education department, and the National Science Foundation to prioritize awarding grants and conducting research related to artificial intelligence. President Trump signed an executive order on April 23rd aiming at bringing AI into K-12 schools in hopes of building a U.S. workforce equipped to use and advance the rapidly growing technology. The directive, reported first by USA Today before Trump signing, instructs U.S. education and labor departments to create opportunities for high school students to take AI courses and certification programs to work with states to promote AI education. Trump also directed the education department to favor the application of AI in discretionary grant programs for teacher training, the National Science Foundation prioritized research on the use of AI in education, and the Labor Department to expand AI-related apprenticeships. This is a big deal because AI seems to be where it's at, Trump said before he signed the order in the Oval Office. The order, one of 7 education-related directives Trump signed in April 23rd, underscores an area of bipartisan concern, how to best incorporate AI into teaching. Both Democrats and Republicans have expressed fears about American students falling behind other nations, particularly China, as technology becomes more advanced and integrated into the workforce. Quote, we have literally trillions of dollars being invested in AI, end quote, Trump said. Somebody today, a very smart person, said that AI is the way to the future. I don't know if it's right or not, but certainly very smart people are investing in it, end quote. In addition, Trump's order creates a White House task force on AI education, which includes Education Secretary Linda McMahon and Labor Secretary Lori Chavez de Reamer, and will be chaired by Michael Krasticaios, Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. The group will develop a presidential AI challenge, the White House said, which will highlight and encourage the use of AI in the classroom. The task force will also be responsible for establishing public/private partnerships to provide resources for AI education in K-12 schools. Other executive orders signed by Trump targeting so-called, quote, woke ideology, unquote, in the accreditation of universities, reinforce laws requiring the disclosure of foreign gifts by colleges and universities, and create a new White House initiative to support historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs. Yeah. I mean, here's I don't think that's a horrible idea. I don't know enough about AI and what it's. I know. I know what some of the people who are afraid of AI, what they say. Right. Now, this is interesting to me. And this is where I haven't done the research to form an opinion yet, so I haven't like made up my mind on it yet. Cuz the same people who are shouting how much we need AI are the same ones who are like the earth's flat. So, it's hard vaccines is bad. Maybe not. So I haven't done any research into it. I think AI is a very interesting subject. Here's what I think. The overwhelming fact of this is I think that when we were in school, how hard college was pushed to us, and how essentially, unless you have an advanced degree or a specialized degree, college is kind of worthless. So I think that people who took the tech school route, people who learned a trade, people who learned how to be a phlebotomist or a nurse or a welder or a mechanic or an IT person, how much further ahead they are than somebody who went to college to be a psychology major or history major. I'm a history major, political science minor. I don't use my fucking degree at all. So I think as we grow, as the technology grows, depending on how it's used, it could be great. Could not. And I think we're at the precipice of a revolution in that sort of technology. But whenever there's any type of revolution when it comes to industry, it originally starts out with such good intentions and goes downhill so fast. Right, we'll go the original Industrial Revolution, and all of a sudden, like you're putting children in the fucking mills. You know what I mean? And in coal mines, they're 12 years old with the black lung. It finally took like unions to be like, nah, bro, we ain't doing that shit. Right? Then the internet. Oh, we can share all this information and we can do all these cool things we do. And then how long did it take for the internet to turn into fucking pornography and like cat memes? You know what I mean? Like, and toxic ass social media. So I hope that AI can be used to do things like find cancer in people, that it can be used to like diagnose people with mental disorders, streamline the process of pending, compensation and pension claims through the VA. There's all kinds of avenues that it can be used to help. And there's also avenues that can be used to hurt. So which path is it going to go down? And knowing our history as humans, that worries me. Right? We as humans, there's already AI drones that Germany has developed that seek out and destroy Russian tanks on the Ukrainian battlefield. That it takes like the only user interface is like flying it to a certain point, and then it scouts out a target, finds it, boom, gone. Right? That's what we know about. What do we not know? That's what I'm like fucking trying to figure it out. Let's see. Quinn says, my VFW community is also an active volunteer activities at local VA. The volunteer group I am part of did spend time on each Sunday supporting recreational period with inpatients who may have not had visitors at it. That's awesome. That's great. There's a lot of places that do that. The DAV does that. The VFW does that. The Legion does that. Local Boy Scouts do that kind of stuff too. That's great. I'm such a big fan of, and I think that everybody that has a chance should volunteer some. I volunteer to coach, and I'm on the board for the soccer association here, right? And I think all that stuff's super important to like give back to something, whether it's, whether your motorcycle gangs do it, VFW. I think that service, I think there's an overwhelming amount of service that's kind of baked into us, right? Very few people go into the military think they're going to get rich, right? We go in the military because we have a duty to serve. We feel that duty to help, right? And I think that's not something that just goes away. And I think that that's why veterans are so big in volunteering in things like the VFW, the Legion, going to the, giving time to Boy Scouts or to the Little League team or whatever. We feel that sense of duty, that sense that we need to help. And I think that that's indicative of that. Quinn, that's awesome. James says it'll be interesting to see in the future when people will be out of job with growing AI. And the adult film industry is going to change forever. Yeah, what's worrying is the monetization of AI and the AI in use of war. And there is something about that. Like, there is a monetization. Okay. I'm going to go back to the internet. Okay. The internet was developed to integrate, missile command with ICBMs and silos and shit like that. Right? Let's be honest. The reason that the internet was originally designed was to coordinate military operations. Okay. There has to be, I think, some sort of way for these products and services to make money in order to advance, right? There has to be a way for, honestly, and the quickest way, the quickest development is for military purposes. Because governments and militaries don't want to fall behind in AI or tactical aircraft or cargo air. You don't want to, look at how many aircraft advances happened during the Second World War that came out and then benefited the civilian sector. Right? That's how that works. And technology and communication and all these things were originally designed for use in the military, and then they branch out and are used in civilian capacities. GPS is a perfect example. But you have to. Does it stay that? Does it get better? Does it get worse? How does it breathe? How does it move? He says when does Skynet become software? Exactly. And that's the crux of this whole argument. And I think it's an intelligent debate to have. I don't think it's unintelligent to be curious as to how things like AI are going to be used in the future. Because they can be used for good and evil. They can be used for both. Both can be true. But that's something, the jobs thing is a big thing to think about with this. There's two reasons for the lack of industrialization in the United States in the last 40, 50 years. One has been the globalization and trade moving around the world. Okay. And hold on a second. This is what fucking blows my mind on this. Okay. China didn't steal our jobs. Mexico, Canada didn't steal our jobs. The board and the CEOs and the people who get fucking rich shipped our jobs overseas because they could make more money having some little kid in China sew up Nikes and having it fucking done here. That's the reason the jobs left. It's not China's fault. It's not Mexico's fault, not Canada's fault. It's our fucking fault. We ship them overseas to make things fucking cheaper for us. And that way corporations could make more fucking money and pay less in fucking taxes. That's why it fucking happened. Don't get mad at China. Don't get mad at Mexico. Don't get mad at Canada. Don't get mad at anybody else, but our fucking people in this country, our politicians and our CEOs that sent that shit overseas. That's who fucking did it. They got rich. We got fucking poor. That's how the fucking world works. But the second part of that is industrialization. Industrialization has taken just as many, if not more, jobs from American workers than have been shipped overseas. Because you can have one person work a robot on an assembly line that does the work of 10 men. That's how that fucking works. And that person running that machine basically sits there and makes sure it runs. That machine is doing a perfect job every time. Period. So the cars built today aren't, God, they're so fucked because they cut corners now. But I'm just saying, that has just as much to do. And now if you're going to throw AI into that automation, automation, you know what I mean? Automation process. There we go. So now you're going to take that one guy's job who monitors these computers that make sure the 5 machines work, and you're going to replace him with artificial intelligence. And you'll have, in a facility with 100 people, now you're going to have 20 people that go around and make sure, oh, that welding machine's out of wire, you got to go fucking change it. Or it goes to the beginning of shift and greases everything. Or fucking something like that. Changes a hose when it starts to leak or some shit. Well, now what are you going to do with the other jobs? They're going to go away too. We have less and less and less and less jobs. That's how this is working. Desney said China just got rich because of those CEOs. Absolutely. Dick Cheney got rich too. That's right, Phil. All them fuckers got rich, dude. All of them got rich. You know who didn't get rich? Radar. Radar didn't get rich. None of us got rich. But it's easier to blame the brown people than it is to blame the rich people. That's the real divide in this country. I don't give a fuck. They took our jobs. That's right, Sports Bar. That's the real divide in this country, though. It ain't between black and white and brown. Male or female. Those aren't the divides. The divides are rich and poor. That's the fucking divide in this country. That's 100% the divide in this country. Is rich and poor. And guess what? We ain't rich. And as soon as we all fucking realize that and all stand up together, maybe this fucking game will be over. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Because right now the country is divided left and right. That's the new divide. Left and right. Fucking libtards, fucking Trumpians or whatever. Yeah, dude. That's the fucking divide. As long as they got us fucking fighting each other on some shit. As long as we're fighting each other, we don't fight them. And that's the fucking problem with this whole fucking game. Eventually we'll stand up. And until that day happens, we're just going to keep being broke. Amazon has a work site safety problem due to automation and not recognizing when a human worker needs to intervene on the floor. Yeah, I believe that, Quinn. 100%. And I'll say this, though. Hold on a second. 2 things. One, if you took that worker off the floor, you had another machine or another robot or another fucking whatever to do that person's job, takes that person out of danger. Also, as this AI software gets better at recognizing when there's a blockage or when there's a person in the way, that's going to cut down on that too. And this is where that all needs worked on, right? This is where it's all. Right now we have like the beta version, and as things get better and gets re-released and updated, and there's software updates and hardware updates and all these things, and the one thing that we can be 100% sure of. 100% sure of is shit is going to get better, exponentially better, and faster than we could have ever imagined. Computers have gotten smaller and faster and smarter, almost as fast as we can blink. The pace of innovation is just phenomenal right now. And so as this kind of silicon revolution or whatever you want to call it, AI revolution, technology revolution, whatever this revolution that we're in right now, as this continues to grow and build and become more of a thing, how is this going to affect us as people? Us as veterans, us as active duty service members, and us as people in general. I cannot imagine. Dude, I've been to Afghanistan and Iraq, and I could not imagine the fear that those guys must live when they're huddled in those fucking trenches listening to drones buzz overhead like fucking mosquitoes, dude. Could you imagine? And there's nowhere to hide from them. There's nowhere to hide. They can't hide in a barracks. They can't hide in a building. They can't hide in a tent. They can't hide in a tank. They can't hide in nothing, dude. They can't hide in shit. And those fucking drones are boasting the shit. Both sides, dude. Both sides. And now it's like 30, 40, 50 clicks from behind the front line. Like, fuck, dude. Could you imagine? And on top of that, dude, they're advancing so fast that with the use of AI and other technologies that they can just get through all the jamming, all of the electronic warfare. Doesn't fucking matter, dude. And on top of that, they're too small for radars to see, and missiles and shit can't shoot them down. So what the fuck do you do? Like the big Shahed drones that they're not even a thing anymore. But the little, they're like the size of my fucking desk. They're like 4 foot by 4 foot. And they can just fucking fly around with impunity and destroy anything they want. Could you imagine that? I don't want to, dude. I watched some of the videos and I just fucking, nope, dude. I can't. I had to fucking delete Telegram. I was having fucking flashbacks. It never happened to me. That was so scary. Fuck that. No. I couldn't imagine, dude. And that's how fast this is changing. In this war, in what, 3 years of warfare? How much that's fucking evolved and changed? 2.5, 3 years of warfare? Fuck, dude. No way, man. And like I said earlier, there's that new German drone that all I can do is fly it to a point and it's got fucking AI and it'll find a tank or an anti-aircraft system or an artillery piece. Blows the fuck up. Nothing you do to stop it. Maybe shoot it down. Maybe if you got a shotgun, you might get lucky and fucking wing it. Fuck that, dude. That sucks. Yeah, I say cap off millionaires at 20 million. Everything they make over 20 million, they put into a fund. That fund goes to a city of their choosing, and the city sends it out to the citizens. Sends it out to citizens. Yeah. There's been ideas of something similar. It's called a universal basic income. The problem is with that, one, they're not putting money, but two, what do we do with people? Do you think they'll add drones to the Geneva checklist? I don't know, dude. Do you think so? How long did it take them to add things like napalm to it? You know what I mean? It took them 50 years to add napalm to the checklist. And incendiaries. I wonder if they do the same thing. They have to. Yes and no, dude. Okay. And here's my thing. What is the difference? Real talk. What's the difference between a drone, an FPV drone, or a guided drone, and a guided missile, other than the speed? Well, militarily speaking, how they're used, how they're employed, how they're countered. What is really the difference between a drone and a missile? And there's no real regulations to missiles. I mean, it's just a warhead. How it's guided, how it's used. I mean. How is a tow missile, tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided missile any different than the optically tracked, wire-guided drones? How's that any different? Oh, that one's got a rocket motor, one's got a little propeller motor. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think they have to fall under the same guidelines that, say you have a AI powered drone, and if it sees the red cross or red crescent or whatever signifying a medical vehicle, you know what I mean? and it shouldn't hit that. I don't know. I think you probably need to have some Geneva checklist about drone or about artificial intelligence before you'd say necessarily drones. Yeah, the psychological aspect, you hear the drone. Dude, and that's what I mean, Phil. Like, fuck, dude, that shit's scary, man. That shit's fucking scary to me. I don't even want to think about it. Nope. Raider don't want no drones. Ah, fuck, dude. That's just weird to me. I don't want to deal with it. Anyway, God, we just talk about all kinds of dumb shit. But I back to the drone operator just loiter there with fucking people. Yeah, dude. And they do too. Have you seen some of those where the dudes are like the dudes on motorbikes, like at their fucking buddy backwards, fucking. And then I'm not gonna say motorcycles because they're not, dude. They're like little dirt bikes, and they're like trying to shoot it down like AKs and shit. And the fucking drone just bobbing and weaving and wait till the guys to reload. Then he blows them up. There was one. This drone hit this tank, a BMP or some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't remember if it was a tank or a BMP. Some armored vehicle was fucking in 1,000 pieces. And this guy was like running around like this burning Hulk of some armored vehicle that got destroyed not too previous. And dude was like running around the vehicle and the fucking drone was just chasing it. And you almost wanted to play that fucking fucking song behind him. I don't know, dude. Like I said, that whole fucking thing is scary as fuck to me, dude. I don't want to fuck do that. No. And that's what they get. I'll circle back now to the beginning when we first talked about Dakota Meyer reenlisting. That's the future of warfare. That's where warfare is going. That is where our next war is going to be that times 10. And as slow as the wheels of change move in the U.S. military, this is what is infuriating to me. Like, we get rid of DEI and fucking... No, dude, you need to fucking get ready for the next war. You need to get ready for the next fucking war. You need to study what's happening in Ukraine right this fucking minute. Because that's what's going to happen when we go to war in the Southeast Asia or when we go to war in Europe. When the next war that we get in is going to be like Ukraine. And the biggest thing that we need, we don't fight near peer adversaries anymore. We don't fight Nazi Germany or Imperial Japan. We fight some dudes who live in fucking mud. Could you imagine if we were in Iraq and those dudes had $100 fucking, not even $100 anymore? What are those drones on fucking like Alibaba and shit, dude? They're like fucking $20. Strap a RPG warhead to that motherfucker and fly in the side of a Humvee or the side of a Striker or whatever, dude. Yeah, like James said, the drone with the shotgun scary as fuck. Yeah, dude, just flies around. Fuck no, dude. Or they just have the ones. My buddy Dick's got one that drops water balloons. I gotta just put a fucking grenade in that bitch and have it go drop. That's what they started with. And those fucking drones on like AliExpress are like fucking $30, dude. Maybe even cheaper if they bought them direct. You know what I mean? Fucking think about that. Think about an insurgency when that is their weapon of choice. When you can destroy a tank with a $30 drone and a $50 RPG warhead. Just think of how they took out the Iranian general in Gaza. They slowly searched him out, saw him all fucked up, and was like, yep, that's him, and blew him up. Yeah. And that is the easy shit to do with a drone. Surveillance? Fuck, dude, that's easy. DARPA has competitions for advanced technologies that may be able to remove the human factor from the ground conflicts. Another note, there was a video of a drone firing a 9mm online a couple years ago that freaked out people. Yeah? But, hold on. Do you think... This question's been asked for years. I don't think you can completely take the human element out of ground warfare. You need infantry on the ground to hold and secure position. Not saying the initial assault can be done by machines of some kind, that drones couldn't pave a way for that. Drones couldn't counterattack. Drones couldn't augment the infantry on the ground, the infantry and artillery and tanks on the ground, combat arms on the ground. But I think if you just have this level of machines and this level of machines fighting each other, does it really turn into a war? Think about something like Vietnam. The reason we pull out of Vietnam is because people got sick of hearing about their friends and family dying on the news every night. The casualty figures got too high for us as a country to stomach. Why are we fighting halfway around the world for these fucking countries that people don't even know, and our boys are dying there? Where if you don't have that, it just turns into a money thing. Look, our fuck country spends money on shit. We don't even fucking have the money to back it up. So does it really turn it? Is it really advantageous then? How does warfare play out like that? I don't think it can be just machine on machine. I just don't. I have to imagine that machines will augment what we're doing. But I can't believe that there would be just a total AI robots versus AI robots with drone technology. I just don't see that. Holly said, I think it would help prevent loss of life. Yes and no. Yes and no, because you don't have to have that direct conflicts. But now it's what the drones have done in warfare there is made no place safe within about 30 to 50 kilometers of the line of contact. So you've got a 100-kilometer zone on 50 kilometers on each side of the contact line that aren't safe. There's nowhere to hide. So, I mean, you're not just exposing, at that point, you're not just exposing your infantry to direct fire. You're exposing your artillery and your rear echelon troops and your reserves to precise direct fire. And there's nowhere to hide. You know, that's what makes it hard for me to think that I think it's just going to change. Warfare is going to change. But how it changes, how it grows and develops, hasn't that always been the point? Yes and no. The ultimate goal to me is to not have any more wars. I sincerely hope that we as a society, as a people, can get to a point where we don't have to invade other countries anymore. That we can just, and I know this is a very naive fucking thought process, that we could just all get along. I would love that. I think most of us would. I just don't see it happening. That's a problem. I want to see a flamethrower drone versus a shotgun drone fight. Ooh. Those fucking drones that shoot the fucking white phosphorus. Fuck that, dude. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. It's scary. I said it makes me happy I'm not fucking doing it anymore. I don't want to fucking get shot at by drones. I don't want to fucking have drones flying over me like that. Nope. You don't say what you want, right? Radar's a pussy. Fuck, I don't get blown up by drones. I don't get blown up at all. I just want to fucking drink my Diet Mountain Dew and hit my little Benjamin and fucking enjoy my life. I want to see a heavy, fast drone with huge crab claws. Yes. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Where you can, like, what's that fucking battle bots? It's going to be like that the whole length of the fucking contact line. Whatever fucking war zone you're in. It's going to be battle bots. Maybe that's the takeaway from it. Everything's battle bots anymore. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know, Holly. God, I sound like a fucking hippie, but I don't even know what the point of war is anymore. Gain territory? I think that right now there's a lot of, this is a very geopolitical fucking statement, but I think there's a lot of countries jockeying for position while they still have the power to do so. I think there's a lot of countries that are jockeying for allies and for land and for resources that they don't have before they're no longer able to do so. I think that's why Russia invaded Ukraine. I think that's why we are so hell-bent on getting a hold of Canada and Greenland. I think that's why we are looking at places like Panama. I think that's why Trump is looking at places like Panama, because they have things that we don't, that strategically we need. Where previous, fear drives so much more of human activities. It's crazy. Yes, Quinn, that's right. 100%. It's preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. We need to stop dropping leaflets that are just like talking about words and shit, and start dropping leaflets of porn stars and everything, because the North Koreans flipped out when they got Russian porn. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Air assault will be carried in by drone before long. Yeah, that and see, there's things like that, like, and there's stuff like that could actually, really work. I think, if, especially medevac, how handy that would be if you could have like an on-call drone that's big enough and powerful enough to pick up a casualty that you can just call in, you press a fucking button, and it comes to your location, you load that casualty and stretcher onto that medevac, and it's gone in minutes. You don't have to worry about a pilot coming into a hot LZ, and it's small enough that you don't have to have a giant, a Blackhawk or a Chinook or a 53 or some shit like that. It can just be basically a motor, a small fuel tank, and enough power to pick up a human, 200-poundish human. Wasn't there some changes made with the airborne recently, or was that just talk? Holly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would be lying if I told you yes or no. Phil says Greenland holds no strategic value. The force projection would stretch things too thin, like with the air defense. I think you're right, Phil. I think they have... the article I read about Greenland being strategic was that as global warming continues its path, that there will now be an ice-free corridor in the north. And that there would be an opportunity there to kind of control the shipping that moves through that ice-free corridor. Now, does that make sense to me? No. I don't think we need to do that. Because it would still be international waters. There wouldn't be anything you could do about it, really. I mean, you can't really... It's too vast to slow down. And Greenland's not really properly positioned for that. They do have some rare earth minerals there that we apparently can't get from China anymore. But, I mean, the opportunity to develop those... But here's the thing right now. It's owned by our friend. It's owned by one of our best allies. Why fuck that allegiance up? Let them fucking run it. Let them deal with the people. Let them deal with all the shit. And just be like, hey, we'll pay for some of them rocks. All right, tight. And they let us. We have a base there already. We used to have like 20 bases in Greenland. I'm sure if we want to open it back up, they'd fucking let us. They don't give a shit. They're not using it. Hey, can we pay you some money? We open a base here? That's way better than going to war over fucking Greenland. Same with Canada, dude. They're our buddies. Why are we not being buddies with them? Be like, hey, man, can we throw some more fucking F-35s up there for you? Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, hey, you gonna put in some fucking SAM systems too? Yeah, absolutely, buddy. They're betting on the chance global warming is real. I mean, yeah. Drone medevac is a nice concept if the evacuee is stable. Flight medics, though, has been the angels of mercy. Yes, definitely. But if you have somebody you can get even moderately stable and have them evacuated in 5 minutes and get to a place, if you can stop the bleeding, control the airway, and get them on a little bird that is gone in 5 minutes, and then back to 5-10 minutes is back in a safe hospital setting. Yeah, they're betting on. Let's not forget the amount of natural gas resources and minerals. Yeah, and I will say, like, we as a country, we are good on natural gas. We are good. Even if we don't pump it right now, a lot of our natural gas comes from the oil wells. When I worked in Wyoming in 2004, 2005, they were starting this process called coal bed methane. The coal that is underneath, coal is underneath basically the entire United States. Okay, it's some places really deep, some places hard to get a hold of, some places not very good, right? But you punch a hole down in the coal, and you basically put water and enzymes into it, and it starts creating natural gas, starts creating methane. Then they can pull that methane up and then pipe it off and send it. And that is one way. We will essentially never run out of natural gas if we don't want to. So, yeah, Finland and Sweden should have control of it. They're already there and armed to the teeth. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Like, if they have anything we need, all we gotta do is ask. That was the system that we had developed since the end of the Second World War. For 80 years, we developed this awesome system of having some good buddies. Be like, hey man, hey, heard you got some shit we need. Can we have some? And they'd be like, yeah, dude, here, just how about we trade you some fucking beef for some oil? All right, tight. How about we trade you some this for some corn? All right, tight. That's all we gotta do. That's all we had. Thule is still a functioning base in Greenland with a different name now. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we had some other bases there too that are now closed because they're no longer important. And we close them down when we're closing bases down. I mean, and that's cool, dude. I think I don't think we shouldn't have a presence there. We should have an air base there. We should I think we should have all those things. I just don't see the need to invade the fucking country. If they ever need more gas, they just tap the hose of the view. Yeah. If they need more gas, they can fucking put a pipe in my butt. I fart like 20 times a day. That's what going to have us doing pretty quick. We farting in fucking 20-ounce bottles and putting in our cars or some shit. But yeah, there's so many different avenues that we can take as a country that don't involve us being a dick. And I think that's one of the things that, I don't understand. Why do we need to be dicks about stuff? We don't need to be. Let's be cool. Let's be cool to all of our buddies, and then we can get shit. What's that? Get more flies with honey. You know what I mean? We were using honey, and then we decided not to for whatever reason. Use the honey. Use the honey, buddy. Make buddies. Make friends. Oh, shit. My back's killing me. We got to wrap this up pretty quick. But, I don't know. I'm gonna let Ice. I'm sure Ice talk about that tomorrow. The new ID cards. About being real IDs, whatever. Let me see if I can pull mine up. They have a new retired ID, which is weird. Okay, so I don't know if I don't want to share my name and shit on here, but they have an expiration date on them. My new ID expires 2045, July 31st. And it's my military retired ID. They look kind of like this. Instead of being the old blue ones. The old blue ones don't count anymore, I guess, for like traveling or something. I don't know. I had to get that one. There's an Air Force base close to me, and I had to go. Like, I tried to get on base, and they're like, you can't get on without that ID. I was like, what? So I had to get a new one, which is fine. Whatever. My wife's was expired anyway. We got new ones, but yeah, they're no longer. Now they have an expiration date on. Oh, good for them. Anyway, apparently I have to get new ones. Apparently at some point. So you don't need one if you have a TWIC. What's that? We 100% do need to be a dick sometimes because look at the situation going on in the UK. All right, run by a bunch of Karens. I'm medically retired. I'm not retired reserve. Does it say retired reserve? It shouldn't say reserve. No, I'm just regular retired. So, I don't understand that comment, James. We need to be because run by. Oh, right, run by a bunch of Karens. I don't. The UK is run by a bunch of Karens. Like I know that they're kind of a nanny state, but I don't know that that's really any of my my situation. I don't give a shit. Like, they can do what they want with their internal politics. I do know that in our previous wars, in the last couple of wars we've been in, the UK has been some of the best allies we've had. And right now, they're some of the best allies that Ukraine has. So, medical retired should convert to in-def after age 60. Okay. All right. Transportation workers and defined certification. Yeah. So that's the like the pre-auth for the flight things or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, retired or really tired? Both. I wish I was actually retired. I can't actually retire because I have kids, and kids are expensive. So there's that. But anyway, so yeah. But my old one didn't have an expiration date though. That doesn't make any sense. My old one didn't. Why does this new one have an expiration date then? Did they change that too? Because when I got my original ID in 2012, it just said whatever in def or whatever on the expiration date. It's whatever. It's not. It doesn't have the card as a chip of a cat card. But they just scan it at the gate. Let me in. It's whatever. I don't care. I go to the base when there's the town outside the base in Ellsworth is called a Box Elder, and it's a normal ass town. But when we go there for like track meets or like kids play soccer there or some shit, we'll pop over to the base, grab some cheap gas, run around, see what's going on, and leave. That's what I do. Anyway, talking about Phil called me really tired. It's more really my back hurts. I need to get the fuck out of this chair. So I'm gonna start wrapping things up. I do want to thank everybody for being here tonight. There's been a great conversation, and I appreciate it. I hope that next week I was retired reserve, and at 60 the replacement card was in def. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why mine was in def and now it's not. If you haven't seen it, the cops are knocking down doors and arresting people over memes from 4 years ago and want to arrest some Americans for hate speech, hate memes. In the UK, they're doing that. Huh. Like they'd be doing here too. Better not don't fucking give anybody any ideas around here. I get mad enough when I fucking get zucked for like a meme I made hold on, meme I shared on Facebook like fucking 10 years ago. And then does everyone else happen to anyone else too? Where you get like a fucking dink and you can't post on Facebook for like a week because of some shit you shared in like 2012. Like, motherfucker, that was like fucking 12 years ago. Leave me the fuck alone. And then they're like, no. Oh, you're right, Phil. If you have access to the base and use your VA card, you have to relink it every 3 years. Yeah. But those are different. Where's my that's my weed card. That's my VFW card. I have a VA card too. I have to use Sam's Club card. That's my Firewise ID. I don't even know where my card is now. Thanks, Phil. Oh, there it is. Got my military ID. Are you talking about that one? That one? The military, the VA. Mine expires 11/10/25. I need to get that in and get that redone. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, actually, Phil might recognize that. Talk about Marine Corps basic training. Crazy is that thing? My honor, courage, commitment card. I still got mine. That's from 1997. Let's see. This goes up here. Anyway, back to the story. I haven't used that to get on because I have my regular military ID. But yeah, I forgot that if you have a VA ID card, if you are, I think it's 30% or more disabled, don't you get base access? It says on them if you get base access or not. I put mine away already, but I think it says on there. Military ID and VA card should reflect the same DOD ID card. I don't know what that means. The member ID? Okay. Huh. I'm gonna look. Oh, it is the same. You're right, Quinn. Dang. You're smart. I saw my weapons card from 93. Nice. Okay. Does it say, I thought it says on it. Mine just says VA healthcare enrollee service connected is all it says on my VA thing. Still got my red cards in my sock drawer. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say anything on it about like base privileges. Maybe it should. Maybe the new ones do. Because like on my DOD ID, it says, authorized patronage, MWR, commissary exchange, everything like that. But it doesn't say anything about like experience. Not smart. Yeah, exactly. That'll happen. Hey, sometimes experience is a direct replacement for education. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, let's go. Anyway, I got to get out of this chair. I'm gonna let you guys go. I really do appreciate you guys being here. Let me pull up my rap sheet here to make sure we don't have anything going on. Yeah, words of experience. That's right, Phil. Not USA Today. Fuck that. Yeah. Google Drive. I gotta pull up my thing. Cut sheet information. There we go. All right, cut sheet. Bam. Let's see. On the 29th, Pop Culture Warrior has Brian Norris. Brian Norris will be the guest next Tuesday on Pop Culture Warrior. He is known for The Cleaning Lady, Halt and Catch Fire, and New Amsterdam. He's an actor. Let me go. Where is his? Oh, man. Resume. Boom. Oh, I don't want to do that. They don't have that anymore? They used to do that. Or you could just check it. Oh, man. He's an actor, director, and producer. So he'll be on Pop Culture Warrior next Tuesday. He's known for The Cleaning Lady, The Doppelganger. I remember seeing that. It's actually pretty good. New Amsterdam, the TV series. I've heard about that. I've never watched it. His new series is called The Cleaning Lady. He's in 4 episodes. So yeah, I have to watch those things. I've seen the dude before. When you see him, you'll be like, oh, I know that guy. But it's one of those guys. If you don't know the name, you're probably not gonna recognize him. Sorry about it. But he'll be on next Tuesday. The UK is also forcing U.S. companies to share private information, like with Apple's messaging app, and are acting like the Gestapo. I implore you to research it. Yeah, I'll check it out. So, anyway, you've been listening to me, Radar. I've been ranting for the last hour and a half right here at. I do it every Wednesday, right here on the Smoke Pit. I thank you guys so much for showing up tonight and bullshitting with me and kind of keeping things going. I love this show for that. We just it's very organic, and we feed off each other, and we have some good conversations, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and hanging out with me for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Tomorrow night is Sergeant's Time, Ice and Spanky. Talking about all things National Guard, Big Army, Reserve, all kinds of cool shit. I'm sure they'll be talking about the new IDs. They'll be talking about fucking all kinds of shit. Friday and Saturday are Donza days of no scheduled activities. We don't have shit going on. We're going to hang out with our families. You guys do the same. Sunday is the sports bar with King Smith and Basketball King Smith and Coach. They'll be talking about some sportsing stuff, probably some NBA stuff and some NHL stuff. They're both in the playoffs. And there's going to be some drafts coming up pretty soon. They're going to be exciting. I'm excited for the drafts, see what's going to happen. Then Monday night is the Monday edition, so aptly named because it's the edition that happens every Monday with Ice and who's on with Ice? I don't remember. And then Tuesday is Pop Culture War with CQ. He'll be hanging out and doing some fun shit. Jim says, I'm sorry for being a shit. Just the UK is like out of control HOA. I think you're right, dude. If that stuff's true, then yeah, I absolutely believe you. I think that is overstepping, but I haven't heard much of it. I've been so fucking not enthralled, but just trying to fucking avoid internal politics in the United States lately. So that's what I've been doing it. Anyway, Pop Culture Warriors every Tuesday. It's a great show. So they have a guest next week, Brian Norris, actor, comedian, director, producer. And then we'll be back next week with me, Radar. and TZ will hopefully be back. May 14th. May 14th is hobby night. Okay, where we talking about our hobby stuff. Okay. Pull this up. I just started this tonight. I started working on it. I told you guys last week I was going to do this, but I kind of didn't. I just started a Discord for everybody. If you guys want to hang out, it's WTFNR Radar is the link for Discord. Okay. Let me Control copy. Control V. It's a super long fucking Discord link. But click on that. Join the Discord server. It's going to be free. I don't charge anything for that. I don't know if you can. But click on that link or go to my webpage or go to my whatever. Go to my WTFNR radar. I'll share that as well. And then there's a link on there as well to check out the link to the Discord server. We are going to have like a hobby thing. We're going to have a military corner. We're going to have all kinds of fun stuff. I want this to be for lack of a better term, a place for us to hang out, an actual smoke pit that you can go, you can pop in and out as you want. We're going to have all kinds of stuff. It's going to be very eclectic. It's going to be hopefully a cool group. Please feel free to join up, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Bullshit. I don't give a fuck. If you've got some cool stories you want to share with me, share them on there. Share them with each other. I don't want this to just be like, let's hang out with Radar. I want you guys to hang out. I want it to be a place where everyone can hang out. So please do that. But I will be back next week. We'll be hacking out some shit. TZ will be back talking about her new grandbaby. It'll be fun, dude. Come back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And I appreciate you guys so much for being here. And we will talk again soon. Shots.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.